Hi guys, Katie here. Thank you guys so much for swinging in and paying me a visit. I always appreciate it. We are going on a mega thrift today, and I say that because I thought I was only going to have about 20 minutes, and I ended up getting a good hour to get some thrifting done today. So I'm going to show you guys what I found, tell you guys how I'm going to use it, and share with you any other little bits of information that I have about the things that we discover. So let's get started. So Christmas is out. You guys probably already know this. You've seen a lot of it in my past videos. I'm looking for ornaments now, and I'm not finding too much. I did see this little false house. It said it was a Nordic Christmas house. $4.99. I'm kind of kicking myself now for not grabbing it because when I went to look it up later on, I was not able to find any like items online. So that might mean that they are harder to find. So I may be running back for that. Otherwise, it was just a lot of stockings and 90s, era kind of pottery and knickknacks. Lots of snowman stuff, tons and tons of snowman stuff. I did like these little satin ornaments. I would normally use those in crafting, but I am trying to cut back on the little odds and ends these days because I am getting a little tight on space. I do like the large Christmas lights, the Christmas bulbs that would, be used for like outdoor lighting. These ones weren't particularly old. Now, had they been in maybe, some brighter colors, I like to get those and I fill jars up with them and use them in decor. I did think this table was unusual. It was massive and it was only around, I think, $45 or so. But I did want to include it in this video because I did think it was really interesting. I don't think that will be there long. So the first thing that came home with me today was this brass wall sconce. I am absolutely loving brass and really all different shades of metals these days. And I love that this was a wall sconce. It was in great shape. The cord was in great shape. It looked like the wiring was all still really good. $3.99. This came home with me. I'm going to be keeping it and putting it on one of my walls. Not sure where, but I will show you guys where I end up using that. I'm still on the hunt for some smaller framed artwork pieces. Not much here today. A lot of it is just kind of like the Hobby Lobby art, but nothing really old or unusual. I did browse the records, lots of cute Christmas records. My kids really love records, especially my middle daughter. I did not find a whole lot for her today, but it's always worth looking because I think they're only like 29 cents at our Goodwill. The second thing I bought today was this old Popeye book. I don't think it's worth a ton, but it was just one of those fun vintage finds for 79 cents I couldn't pass up. And I also got this awesome strawberry shortcake vintage cookbook. I'm going to be keeping this. The inside has the most adorable recipes. The graphics are just great. And since I was an 80s baby, I do absolutely love anything strawberry shortcake. So for 79 cents, this came home with me. I mean, how cute are these recipes? I mean, the pictures alone are just absolutely darling. I'll let you guys know if I end up trying any of them. And there's her little dog. I'm trying to remember what Strawberry Shortcake's dog's name was. I remember it had a really cute name, but it's not coming to me right offhand. So that definitely went in the cart. I also got this children's book. It's an older, kind of like a dictionary, encyclopedia type book, and I'm going to use this for crafting. It had some great graphics in it, and it also had some really neat like dictionary pages that I think would make great backgrounds for things. I liked how the graphics were in color on the pages. So this is one of those things I really don't have a plan yet, but I'll just go ahead and add it to my shelf, and I will most likely be using it for some type of DIY later. I did spot this cute Fire King casserole dish. It was a little scratched up. It did not have a price on it. I ended up leaving it behind. It's not one of the more popular patterns, but it's one of those things that someone who collects it will be really excited to find it. So I did leave that there. Going down the wood aisle, we always call this the brown aisle because it's like, they just anything wood or like baskets, anything like that, all ends up in this aisle. There wasn't a whole lot. It was a little picked over and they had not added a whole lot. I did like this little wall piece, however, it was broken. It has the roses and fruits on it. That would have been neat, but it was in pretty rough shape. I thought that little picture was cute. Otherwise, it was just kind of your run-of-the-mill 1980s, 1990s kind of wall decor. I did end up grabbing this beauty. This was the fourth thing I picked up today. While I'm not crazy about the artwork, I really did like the frame, but it is an original oil painting. When you flip it over, you can see on the back the canvas, and I thought the price was okay. Not, of course, what I wanted to pay. I'd love to pay about $1.99, but it is a really beautiful piece, and so I decided to go ahead and add this to my cart. Here's a cute little metal plant holder that would go on the wall. I see these a lot and I've been passing them up lately, but they sure are cute. I would love to get a bunch of them and do some type of display with them. I did buy this copper piece. It definitely went into the cart. I am just in love, like I said, with metal and different shades of it these days. $2.49, and it still had the label on it that showed the maker, and I think that for $2.49 this was probably a really good deal. I'll have to do some research on it, but either way I'm going to be keeping it and adding it to some of my other pieces. Now this is really kind of 1970s-ish, but I also thought it was really kind of granny-ish and I liked it. What it is a shelf. They taped it all together, and then there's two candle sconces. And so it was super cheap. I want to say it was like $1.99 for the whole set. I don't think all the pieces for the shelf are there, but the candle holders are definitely cute. I will be keeping those. I don't know if you guys browse the plastics aisle very much. We do have a whole aisle here of just plastic stuff. I like to look for kind of the old melamine dishware or any of the older Tupperware pieces. Not much here today. Now this is super cute. I do have some of these already, and so I found another one in the box, $3.99. It is a little tea canister, and apparently there was a whole set of these little townhouse canisters. I have two of them on my back patio right now that are not in great shape. This one was perfect. I was excited because there were 4 other boxes, and so I thought, oh, this is wonderful. They have the whole set here. It's all unused, but every single box was the tea room. So I was super bummed. You can see there's 3 boxes right there. I didn't need this many of them, but I did go ahead and get the one to go in my kitchen. I mean, this is just pure class right here, this cranberry set. If I had even a shred of class in me, I would be getting this for Thanksgiving this year. But I did leave that behind. Personally, I love the canned cranberry sauce. I prefer it over any other kind. I don't know about you guys. Lots of old books today, various conditions, and they were kind of like scattered throughout the store, which was strange. This almost came home with me. I thought this was it. This is the Afghan I've been looking for. It's neutrals, it's, kind of soft and muted, and it was only $2.99. But I still just I couldn't pull the trigger on it. So I had to leave this behind. I don't know. Maybe it's something I'll go back for. The one next to it was smaller and brighter, and they had, I think, $5.99 on that one. Still really cute, but I think just not the perfect one for me yet, but my eyes are still peeled. Now, I'm not sure if you guys ever look at purses. I don't, except for in the summertime. I like to get like a straw bag, for the beach or something. But I think this is like a knockoff Gucci purse with the stripes, if I'm not mistaken. But I did go ahead and just peek around to see what I could find. I have a niece who's into Vera Bradley these days, so I thought I would see if I could find any. But it was pretty bare, not a whole lot. I totally wanted to include this in this video because if you guys remember a few videos ago, I showed you the Jello cookbook with all of the Jello molds made from things like lime Jello, cheese, and vegetables. And they all had this kind of tall tower shape to them. So I mean, if I had any sense, I would have bought this and then created an amazing Jello mold to show you guys. But I did leave that behind, but it totally reminded me of the book that I was showing you guys a few videos ago. I thought at first this little Santa might be something. He was like a small little vintage pottery piece, but he was just like an advertising collectible piece. It said Aruba on it, so it was probably something sold like in a gift shop. I did find another cool false-graph piece. They keep writing on items now with marker, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. See, they use like a silver marker. It's driving me bonkers. But I thought that was a cute piece. I left that behind. But I did take these little rainbow salt and pepper shakers with me. They were not priced, but they did sell them for 99 cents. And it says, look for the rainbow. I'm going to resell these 1980s era stuff that has the rainbows on it, mugs, things like that. I can usually flip pretty fast. I keep thinking I'm going to stumble across, a dozen old Santa mugs again, and that did not happen today. Will it happen again this season? I mean, fingers crossed. So let's dive into the books. I had such a good time in the books today. I really did like this creative gardening book, but it really was kind of newer than I would have really liked. So I did end up leaving that behind. I did also peek at another gardening book that was a little bit older, but not in the best shape. It had quite a bit of staining. I not only use these for educational purposes, I actually read them and learn from them, but if they have great graphics, I like to take them and decorate with them. My daughter frames them in her room, and really any kind of old botany and plant pictures we are all about. This was a cute book all about early American schoolhouses. I thought it was a fun little read I glanced at while I was there. And I was really surprised how many old books were on the shelf today because I think they usually weed them out. I hardly ever see old books, and there were quite a few today. This one was pretty amusing. You cannot see it, but the cover looks like it's got a large slash to it. So this was something that I left behind. Otherwise, I might have grabbed that for resale, but it was in rough shape. There was a cute Nancy Drew mystery. This was really pretty. I ended up buying this just for the cover. I'm going to take the plastic off of it and just display it. It's an extremely sweet book. And the story actually looks really cute, so I'll let you guys know if I end up actually reading it. I did end up grabbing this book about roses. It has some beautiful pictures in it. I've never had much luck with growing roses. My mother did. Gosh, they were absolutely beautiful. But this was just a great little book, and the pictures were really fantastic. There we go. Sorry about that. I kind of dropped it. But the pictures were really fantastic, and it just was informative. So it's a cute little piece. I could even use it for display. Found an old Robin Hood book that was cute. And this book was really good. This was actually all about living in the country. I mean, everything from farming to animals to taking care of your little cottage, things like that. And it was really informative. Like someone who's, into off the grid living would probably find it pretty informational. I did like this little scrapbook. It was just a bunch of different poems and things like that in it, kind of like an anthology, I guess you would say. But it had all different kinds of short stories and poems and things like that. I love old books. I love how they smell. I love the color of the paper. They just really do it for me. So you can see I got quite a bit in the cart already, and as I was heading up to checkout, of course I had to stop and look at the scarves. If you guys saw my video a few days ago, I did find a Burberry scarf. It was vintage for $4.99, I believe. So I was checking the scarves. Old wool scarves sell very well. Designer scarves have a great resale value. So I went ahead and just peeked through to see if I could find any really good labels. I thought that was pretty. It was more of like a polyester though. Towards the checkout, there was this awesome Farm Chicks book. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Serena and the Farm Chicks. When I ran my first blog years ago, it's not online anymore, I actually got to interview her, and she has created this whole brand around her farm life, and she does these magnificent antique shows, and this is one of her books, and so it shows all of her different decorating ideas and things that she does around the farm. This was not a cheap book. I have seen this book before. I was able to get it for just $1.99. I'm just going to keep it out on my little side table during the holiday season. It's absolutely gorgeous. I was checking out the Christmas sweaters to see if I could find any cool old ugly Christmas sweaters, and also looking at the Christmas linens. I love old vintage tablecloths. This guy was cute. He was not old. I was hoping he would be. At first glance, I thought he was. But then there were some of the old plaid ones, things like my mom and my grandma would have used. But nothing really stood out that I wanted to take home today. I did give that table runner a second glance, especially because it was only $1.99 and it had the best pom-poms on it. But upon further inspection, it had like dried paint on it, orange paint, that was most definitely not going to come out. So I went ahead and left that behind. Stop number 2, I went over to the Resale for the Rescue. This is the one that proceeds go towards local animal rescues. I did see these cute Pyrex mugs. They were $2.99 today. All kitchen items were half off. I thought about these long and hard, but looking them up, I could only get maybe $6 each for those, so I didn't want to spend $1.50 each. I went ahead and left those. Someone's really going to be tickled when they find them. This little art glass piece was cool. So everything today, if it was any type of kitchen item, it was half off. I did like this vintage planter. It's a green, maybe Hager planter, but they had $4.99 on it, which is, I was being cheap today. Actually, I think it was $5.99. But this would have been really cute for, succulents or something. But I figure I'll wait on that. It's one of those things, if it's still there on a good sale day, I'll make sure to grab it. I like that little boho kind of trivet. There were some cute little yellow measuring cups. These were exceptionally cute. They are comb and brush sets with the little pockets sewn on to keep your combs and your brushes in. They had $2.99 on these. I do believe these would have been half off today as well. I think linens are also half off on Tuesdays. Really, really sweet. I don't know how quick I could flip them though, since it's not something super practical. I did leave those behind. But I did snatch this picture. It's an old, looks like a lithograph or some type of print. It was $2.99, and I also had a 20% off coupon for today. Peeking at the lighting. I wish I could think of something to do with those little glass globes, because you see them everywhere and they're usually pretty cheap. And of course I had to go look at the scarves again. This is where I found the Burberry scarf a few days ago. So I went and looked to see if maybe any other nice, name brand high-end scarves were put out. I did not see any. I thought this one was pretty. I think it was $4.99, but not really something I could do a whole lot with. But I'll keep checking back. I adored this. This is kind of that, old Hollywood glam style. And it is a wall sconce. It had all of the crystals on it. $2.99, I think. $2.99 or $3.99. Either way, it wasn't much, and I had a 20% off coupon. This would actually have a fantastic resale value, but it's actually going to come home with me and go into my house. That old Santa was cute. He was only $1, but he was pretty dirty, and I knew I just did not have the energy to devote to cleaning him. They were starting to get a lot of their Christmas out. A lot of the ornaments were between $1 and, $2, $3. Oh, look at her. She's precious. I had to include these in this video. I remember these growing up, and I don't know if it was Target that sold them, but they were incredibly cute. They were huge in the 80s. They had just 99 cents on those. And they also had a couple Charlie Brown, Peanuts characters, ornaments. Those were $2.99. I did look those up while I was there because some of those have a really good resale value. The ones here were a little more common. Beautiful old frame. It did have some damage. I don't know what it is about old frames. I'm drawn to those too. And I did love this brown transferware plate. And you can see right on top, there is a squirrel. You guys know I love my squirrels. And they considered this kitchenware, so $1.99. It was half off, making it just $1. And I really like advertising, pieces if they're you know, like souvenir type pieces. I really do like those. So that ended up coming home with me. I did like these two candy dishes. They were like a gold and green kind of combo. They did have $5.99 on these, so I ended up leaving them behind, but I did find them to be very pretty. And I thought long and hard about these candlesticks. They were $2.99 for the pair. I probably have about 10 or 12 in my family room right now, and I'm guessing I probably don't need more. So I did leave those behind. This is so super cute. This is a vintage drinking glass caddy. And so you would put, it was only, yeah, $2.99. They might have even given me this half off, I'm not sure. And then it would hold 6 drinking glasses. Super cute. Came home with me. I cannot wait to put some of my glasses in it. These glasses were cute. They had the little elf on a shelf on them, and GB, that's actually a local brewery here that they must have given those for some type of promo, but I thought the elves were cute. This little hearts card game came home with me. I love really any type of vintage paper, anything with cute little graphics, which the card set definitely had. Beautiful little frosted bowl, 1970s. That stayed behind, but it was super cute. And here's the last thing I did grab today. This is a chrome set of glasses. They gave me this total like Game of Thrones vibe. I did look them up, the company that made them. They do have a really great resale value, so around $50 for this set. I got it for $2.50 with the discount. Okay, so that is going to do it for our mega thrift trip today. I had a blast. I hope you guys did too. In the coming days, I'll have to start taking some pictures and showing you guys how I use all this stuff. As always, thank you for visiting. You guys have a fantastic week. Happy thrifting.